Please let us start with a word of prayer. Where we are, let us bow our heads and let us pray. Gracious, loving Father, we thank you for your great love and kindness that you have shown us in the gift of salvation. We ask of you for your Holy Spirit to be with us here today, right now, and to give us the spiritual education we need, to give us the understanding we need, that we may follow the truth, that we may be sin-free, that we may walk in obedience to your commandments, and even more so that we may prepare for the end, because it is swiftly coming. You want us to be prepared to face the grand crisis just before us. Please help us, we ask of you. And may we pay attention to the education you have granted unto us. For your glory's sake we pray. Through Christ our Savior. Amen. Okay, my dear brethren. We are continuing our study and finishing today of Daniel, the book of Daniel. We are dealing with a shortened course on it to make us understand what it is all about. Now, terrible, terrible things are indeed happening on this earth. And the things that are happening on this earth are to show us why we need to get prepared. A series of terrible storms have taken place in various parts of the earth, and these storms have destroyed the food basket of many countries. You must know that Argentina has lost all of its soybean crop from storms, hurricanes, and hail. So soybean will be in great shortage in the world. Brazil too has lost a large amount of their crops through rain. Yesterday, in Uganda, let me tell you something. Yesterday, in Uganda, hail fell and destroyed 5,000 gardens. A lot of shortage, therefore, is coming. More than 1 million acres of cropland in the United States have been destroyed. Wherever you go, areas that produce a large amount of food have been terribly destroyed. So as the year continues, we are going to have severe famines in different parts of the earth, because their food producing potentiality have been destroyed, and with all that rain and floods in different areas, many crops have been destroyed. In Trinidad, when crops have been destroyed, all we have to do is to ask the government for help. And what does the government do? Give them money. But it's not so in the United States. Not so in Brazil. Let me quote and show you something here. In South America, thousands have been affected by floods and landslides. A lot of their food producing potentiality have been destroyed. Paraguay, Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, and Colombia. Many of those countries and more. So what we are seeing here is terrible famine coming. Because much of those countries that produce their own food are now damaged. We even had Canada. The wheat crop in Canada have been destroyed. In Canada, you won't be able to get much whole wheat. If you're using white flour, you still won't be able to get much of that. Because the crops have been destroyed even in Canada. We are saying this to you for you to know that there is a terrible trouble brewing. Look at Jordan, next door to Israel. And there's a country. There's so much floods in Jordan that their crop producing have been damaged. Look at Saudi Arabia. So much rain falling that the desert has become green. And now, going to planting foodstuff, all of a sudden, millions of locusts start to consume the green. So there's a terrible curse taking place all over the world. And the food security of the world is being damaged. With 7 billion people on the earth, with so much food destroyed in India, with so much food destroyed in China and other places, we are looking at a potential crisis when it comes to food to eat all over the world. And why has God warned us of this? Because He wants us to get prepared. You get prepared with holy knowledge. With what? Holy knowledge. And that's the reason why we have been dealing with Daniel so far. We have always told you that the Chinese government, the current Chinese Communist government, is a destructive, predatory government to rights and freedoms and to Christians. The Chinese have practiced predatory lending. When they lend a country, they lend in a way that they cannot pay back. And when debts build, they confiscate infrastructure from your country. But the Chinese have done very evil things. The government, the Chinese Communist Party, has given the police a certain amount of Christians to arrest per month. Because you see, China has millions and millions and millions of Christians underground. They have rebuked police stations and tell them, you are not fulfilling your quota. Could you imagine this? Quota of Christians to capture? They put such people in concentration camps and they work for the Chinese government there for them to make money. And if you die, be sure somebody will buy your body part somewhere. Because that's what they do also. But now the Chinese government has developed a new thing. They have so much money to swim in that they have put up 1,500 US to anybody who gives the government a report about a Christian in any neighborhood that they could come and get arrested. So if your neighbor is a Christian and you don't like him, you will be paid to get rid of him. They are paying 1,500 US for one Christian plus much more if he's a pastor. And that way, they're giving money to people who will then go and hunt to find Christians and cash in on it in the Chinese government. But we are praying to God that He will remove their money, that they won't be able to use the money to do such. And we are praying to God to remove the present Xi Jinping government here, who has now become so extreme in attacking Christianity.
I just wanted to inform you all that it came in my hearing about a month ago by an Adventist lady that in Carenage, this person doing an interview, and they asking in the interview they're asking you what religion are you and what is your opinion on the Catholic Church. If you're against the Catholic Church in any way or anything, that's how they answer the questions. So I just want to put you on guard that this is taking place right now in Trinidad. Right? It took place in the Carenage area. I don't know how far and wide it has spread or is spreading.
Alright, amen. So why did we tell you all of this? To show you how late time is. Look at what is going on. Now it's going to get worse and worse and worse as the days go by. New York State did something for the first time anywhere in the world. They wrote a law that anybody, any child, from a baby to age 18 that is not vaccinated, you are banned from public spaces. And the ban has 30 days effect. So just like ancient Persia, 30 days you can't go anywhere if you're not vaccinated. So they have passed a law to force you to take those horrible antibodies in your body. And if you refuse, your parents are in trouble. Laws are being drafted to make it a crime if your child is in a home school. It is now being called abused. It's now being called abuse. So the schools are tightening it as we get closer and closer to the end. When you know these things are taking place, you are being called upon by God to prepare. Are you listening to me? Because soon the crisis is to break upon us without restraint. And many will prove if they are serving God or not. Because when death faces you in your face for the faith of Jesus Christ, always remember, if God wants you to die, it is the best thing. But if He doesn't want you to die, no nuclear bomb could kill you. Yes, my dear.
Grace and peace, everyone. Pleasant Sabbath. So as Brother Medina said just now about they're seeking to pass laws that if you homeschool your children, it will be abuse. I am telling you that it is already here in Trinidad because I went to a meeting worldwide, and one of the topics that came up was abuse. And they stressed heavily on abuse of children, and they were saying that they also had police officers counseling, and they said the law ain't passed fully as yet, but children who are being homeschooled, it is against the law because you are abusing that children, those children, right? They also said that the parents will be charged and the children will be taken from the parents' custody. So those things are already done in Trinidad that need to be implemented.
So you see what's going on?
Let's thinking about what Brother Medina talk about the policy by the Chinese government in paying $1,500 US dollars for whosoever know where Christians are to sell them out. while it is our prayers will go to God on behalf of our brethren in China, that they will be protected from that cruel regime and that God will remove them. But at the same time, history has shown us that things like this do happen to purge the church. To purge the church from the hypocrites. Those who is just taking the name of Christ, but they are really Judases. Those people who is not overcoming their covetousness. Something like that will appeal to them. And as a result of that, they will sell out their brethren. But in selling out their brethren, they themselves will show that they were what type of Christian they were all the time. So while it is in truth and in fact, God will interpose. I have no doubt about that, because we have evidence here where certain policies have been taken by people in authority that was aiming against the church, against your rights and freedom, and we prayed right here, and God acted. He acted on our behalf. So the point about it is, He's going to act upon behalf of His people in China and in other places. But at the same time, He just permits certain things like that to happen to purge the church from the hypocrites. So in our preparation, dear brethren, now is the hour. Now is the hour, now is the time to make sure that we are genuine, we are the real metal, the real genuine thing. Otherwise, those things will appeal to us and we will get caught up in it and so lose our souls. Because if somebody sell me out or sell you out, you may get persecuted, you may die. What happened to them? They're lost forever. So the point about it, in any case, it is a win-win for us. So take these admonitions seriously. You know, this week I attended a funeral and my heart was touched by the talk that was given in that funeral. And really it is God to be praised. Because sometimes some people, the only how they could be saved is if God Himself interposed for that person and orchestrate that person's salvation. And it was demonstrated in the funeral that I attended. So the point about it is, all of these things, when you sum it up, it is telling us, now is no time to be joking and fooling around with our salvation. Now is no time for that. Because Satan is not fooling around. He and his evil angels are not fooling around. I read this week, Snares of Satan, from the Great Controversy. And it struck my mind to something Brother Medina had shown not too long, where sometime around our time, Satan had a great meeting with his evil angels, how to plan to get you and I. And I read it, and you must read it. Read it in the Snares of Satan, from the Great Controversy. From the opening chapter, Mrs. White went in and she put it in inverted commas. You know, in literature, when you see inverted commas, it means you are quoting what somebody said. And the quotation is in inverted commas, showing that under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, Mrs. White was given a view as to what Satan was saying. And he's saying his plans that he laid for us. And if you should read that, and when you read that, you ain't get serious, brethren, well then probably there's no more hope for you. I read it. And when I read it, it came back to my mind, the appeal that was being made. How while we may take our salvation jokingly, Satan is not taking it so. Because he knows that we are the ones who is to expose his kingdom. And anytime one of us slipped out from his realm, it means he has to pay for our transgression. He has to pay the penalty. But anytime you and I ensure that we embrace the faith of Jesus Christ to justify us, to genuinely convert our hearts and groom our personality traits with the truths of Christ, Satan don't like that. He knows he will have to pay for all those past wrongs that he tempted us to commit in the first place. So let us take these things serious, brethren. Every Sabbath the admonition is being given, and we will be tested as the day go by. The test is coming. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. So my dear brethren, remember these important things that we have heard. The vision that Mrs. White saw was future to her time. But it is going on now. It's a meeting that took place not too long ago with evil angels, where they had plotted for the work. Now we have told you already before that the mission of this church is not a ministry. God did not raise up a ministry. The church is the pillar and ground of the world. Truth. And God raised up a church with the truth. With systematic theology. The 7 pillars of sacred theology. God raised up a church. And it is this church that is to plant the standard of Christ, our righteousness, in the traditional church. It is this church that is to do it. And it is this church, in seeking to plant the standard of Christ, our righteousness, will come up with many conflicts. And this is my warns that he called enthusiasts. Let me write it for you. That's the best you can get of something that was seen taking place in the future. She said, God's people will be called what? Yes. What is the major word in that sentence? Yes. Amen? Amen? Even when this name was chosen, we didn't even know about that quotation. We had to find it afterwards. This was of God. Because a person who is an enthusiast is a person who is encompassed with a spirit of sacrifice. And that is what the Bible says. Those that have made God's covenant with him by what? Sacrifice, which is what? Enthusiasm. So you see, my dear brethren, this church has a mission, and the mission is to spread revival and reformation wherever you go. It is to exalt God to be God what? Alone. Notice that? Do you know what it is to say God is God alone? You have to tie in the oneness of God with the aloneness of God. And unless, because many people say God is one, the Muslims say that. But you have to tie in, listen to me carefully, you have to connect the oneness of God with the what? The aloneness of God. Or the holiness of God. When you do that, you're now preaching the real truth about God. What do you say? So to help us, God has given us the book of Daniel. And this book we showed you were divided into 2 major sections. History parts that make us learn certain lessons. And then some prophetic parts that teach us what will take place in history. If you are to be God's people in the last days, you must gain that knowledge of the book of Daniel and the positions it takes. For instance, Daniel chapter 7. Turn to Daniel 7. You'll observe Daniel chapter 7 shows us the rise of transgressing nations and the Antichrist. So you see nations in transgression, they are rising, but you see the Antichrist coming too. That's what it tells us. But watch. Daniel chapter 7 also tells us about the destruction of the gospel and its restoration when the judgment starts. So if you are to be one of those people that receive the Spirit of God in these last days, you must understand how the gospel was lost through the Antichrist and how the gospel was restored when the judgment started. Once you have that knowledge in your mind, you are in the right faith. Because if you have received the lost gospel, then you can take that gospel and spread it to others. What do you say? If as a church, a minister just run and set up a church, and when they are setting up a church, they say, well, okay, we must keep the commandments of God, so we have to keep the Sabbath. And that church is set up and they recognize they must keep the commandments of God, they must keep the Sabbath. That's not good enough. Because keeping the Sabbath must be in context to what happened in the past. Is that understood?
Yes.
And it must embrace the idea of the gospel. So it's not just you rush and set up a church. People want to rush and set up churches. No. A church must be set up based upon prophecy.
Amen.
And the pattern that God has given for that church to follow must be done.
Yes.
And Daniel chapter 7 shows us part of that pattern.
Amen.
So let's read certain important verses here, not the whole chapter. Let's turn to verse 17 of Daniel 7. Here is what it tells us. Verse 17 and then verse 18. These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. Verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever. Even forever and what? Ever. So notice what we are told. 4 great kingdoms that shall arise. And the Bible summarizes it by telling us, but the saints shall possess the kingdom. You have to know the kingdom belongs to you. Once you become an heir of the kingdom, a potential inheritor, and then you inherit the kingdom in the judgment, you become a subject of the kingdom fully, an inheritor of the kingdom fully, and the kingdom belongs to you. That's why you must make your calling and selection sure. Amen, brethren? So you have a brief history. 4 big nations arising. Those rise of transgression nations cause trouble. It caused things to happen on the earth. You see, today you go to the university and they teach you Black History Month. They teach you LGBTQI history. They teach you the history of feminism. They don't give you white history month, you know, to that is racism. Oh, but they have Black History Month. All that is not needed. The real history that is needed is in the book of Daniel. And when you learn that history, it qualifies you to fit into society the right way. At the end of Black History Month, you make it become a racist even more. At the end of learning LGBTQI history, to make you become a sodomite. And effeminate, which they call transgender. At the end of the history of feminism, they make women become feminists. Which really boils down to hate men and challenge the maleness of men. And by the way, when they finish with that feminism, some men even think that they are feminists too. That's how far it goes. But you must remember, it is the history of the book of Daniel. God gives you and I the pattern of history we should learn. Listen to me carefully. You have gone to school. Some of you have gone to universities. There is history that they teach you in universities. God knew that would happen. And he knew a lot of false history will be there. So what has he done? He has given you the true pattern of history, the true pattern of history to help you go in the right position. and not be deceived. That's why he has given you Daniel 1. The book of Daniel. That's why you have Daniel 7 here. Now watch this. Let's go on to verse 23 to 26. 23 to 26. We read. Thus he said, the fourth beast. So we are going on to the fourth beast. So remember, it's 4 beasts. So we go to the fourth beast. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be different from all kingdoms, and it shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be different from the first 10 horns. And he shall subdue 3 kings, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times, and the dividing of times. And the dividing of time. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy unto the end. Let's just stop there now. So here we saw the fourth kingdom is horrible. They do a lot of damage, a lot of destruction all over the earth. But from that fourth kingdom comes 10 European nations. And while those 10 nations are existing, another horn comes up among those 10. It destroyed 3 of them. 3 of them are destroyed. And what happens? After those 3 are destroyed, we're told this horn, this little horn, fights against God's people. He thinks to change times and laws. So whenever somebody asks you, when does a day end and when does a day begin? And you say 12 o'clock midnight. A day ends at 12 o'clock midnight and a new day starts. That horn gave you that. That horn gave you that. When you shall ask, which day is the 7th day? And what day you should keep? And somebody tell you, nobody can know the 7th day, forget 7 days. But just go to the first day. The day none of the resurrection of Christ. That is the one you should keep. That horn gave you that. Are you listening to me? When you hear that a year begins at January and ends in December, December means 10. After you pass 12, you tell him the year ends in December. That horn gave you that. And when you call the calendar, the Gregorian calendar, that horn gave you that. So that horn gave us many of the confusions we have today on the earth. We are told you shall think to change times and laws. If you think that the commandments you read in school, in Catholic schools, are the real commandments, no. That commandments were given to you by that horn. So the Bible tells us he thought to change times and laws. And we are told the saints were given into his hand. My dear people, more than 66 million people perished. Christians perished under the hands of that little horn. More than 66 million Christians perished under that little horn. And we are told, but the judgment shall what? Sit. And they shall what? Take away his dominion. This is telling us that when the judgment that God sets up starts, it causes that little horn to lose its dominion over over the gospel. Are you listening to me? The horn will first lose its dominion over civil law. That happened in 1798 when the papacy lost control over civil law, giving us 46 years to search scripture and rediscover the judgment. Once God's church rediscovered the judgment, that judgment opened up the gospel to them and made the little horn lose its obscuring dominion over the gospel. And if you and God's people know, you must know about this judgment, find how the gospel came back through this judgment, and you are the only one that God would say, go and preach. Amen. The commission to preach is only given to those who rediscover the gospel after the judgment. Are you listening to me? Let's see how this is so. Let's see that is how it is given. Turn to Revelation 10. That's what Revelation 10 is all about. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say next week. Revelation chapter 10. Verse 7. And then verse 11. Now I'm just going to give a general synopsis, right? Verse 7. But in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of God shall be finished, which he had declared to his servants the prophets. Did you see that? In other words, some seventh angel must sound his trumpet. And when that seventh angel sounds his voice, the mystery of God is finished. The word finish here doesn't mean finish like if you finish it, you do away with something. It means finish like if you make up something. Like if you bake bread and you say, I'm finished baking the bread. Does that mean you destroy the bread? No. It means you now have the whole thing. So for the gospel to be finished, it means it was lost and it was being made up. So you had to wait until the voice of the seventh angel sounded for the gospel, the full gospel that was taken away by the little horn to be made up. So here you see, in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to what? Sound. The mystery of God should be what? Completed. Let's look at the angel soundings. Chapter 11. Yes, and verse 15. Let's read verse 15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever. So there's the seventh angel sounding. What happens when this seventh angel sounds? Look at verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be what? Judged. And thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, unto the saints, unto them that what? Fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest what? Destroy them that what? Destroy the earth. Now, did you observe what happens here? You just see here that when the seventh angel sounds, the judgment begins. Did you see that? When the seventh angel sounds, the judgment begins. Did you see that? Now notice this thing. When this judgment begins, that's when we are told the gospel is made up. When the judgment begins, the fullness of the gospel comes back according to Daniel. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 10. Watch what happens. Revelation chapter 10. Read verse 7 and then you read verse 11. But in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of God should be what? Finished as he had declared to his what? Servants the prophets. Did you see that?
Notice when the gospel came from.
That's right.
Servant didn't make it up.
That's right. But you notice that when the angel sound, the fullness of the gospel is made up, completed. Those alone who get that gospel, who discover the full gospel after the judgment starts, it is only those people that God told to preach again to the world. Look at verse 11. And he said unto me, thou must what? Prophesy a day before what? Many peoples and what? Nations and what? Tongues and what? And kings. Did you see that? So, here is the point. That's why you don't just run and set up a church like that. You don't just run and set up a church and say he's a fly-by-night preacher. You don't even say, well, we must keep this Sabbath, so let us keep it. You have to follow this pattern. What judgment started? What did the judgment show? The Bible tells us we'll be judged by the law. So if the judgment started, then from the judgment we learn we'll be judged by the law of God. And then what does the Bible tell us about the law of God? If you break one, you are guilty of what? All. So how much points does he have? 10 points. So if you have 10 points, when you go back to the law, you find that the seventh day is the Sabbath of what? Yahweh thy God. Did you see that? So put it this way. When the judgment started, it pointed into the law, it pointed into the seventh day Sabbath, so you can keep the Sabbath. Amen, brethren? But you learned also that this judgment is part of the gospel. You didn't hear me? What did you learn also? That this judgment is what? Part of the gospel. Look at Revelation 14. Verse 6 and verse 7. Verse 6 and verse 7. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the what? Having the what? Everlasting gospel. So in other words, whatever is being identified as the gospel here was always part of the gospel. It is just that it was rediscovered later, because the church lost it through the little horn. So this is part of the everlasting gospel. It always was. Let's read. It continues. And I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation, kindred, and tongue, and people. Wait, and that is what we read in chapter 10, verse 11. They have the gospel to preach to people. What is the gospel they discover at the seventh trumpet that they have to preach to people? Let's read. Saying with a loud voice, fear God and give what? Glory to him, for the what? Hour of his judgment is come. And worship him that made the what? Heaven and earth, the sea, and the what? That's the Sabbath. So this gospel has as a part of it the judgment. It has as a part of it the law of God, which includes the seventh day Sabbath. So when you are preaching the gospel, watch. Some people say, preach the gospel, leave the law aside. You can't. But because to the what? Law and to the what? Testimony. If they speak what? Not according to this word, it is because there is what? So the word you preach is made up of the testimony and the law. Are you listening to me? So if somebody put up 7 pillars, like one of those ministries in the United States does, They put the sanctuary as a pillar. They put the law of God as a pillar. The last pillar to them is righteousness by faith. They put victory over faith, victory over sin, sorry, as a pillar. But the first pillar is health reform. So their first pillar is health reform. Their last pillar is righteousness by faith. As if anybody is saved by health reform. But they also put the law of God. I thought righteousness by faith includes the law of God. Are you listening to me? You see, my dear brethren, many people create pillars, but the 7 pillars of sacred theology held by 2,000 Seventh-day Adventists are eternal pillars. And the church is the one pillar and what? Ground of the truth. Are you listening to me? So you will learn immediately your mission. Your mission is to preach the gospel, which you rediscovered from the judgment. Amen. The only church that has authority to preach the gospel into all the world is those that rediscover the gospel from the judgment. Amen. Those are the ones God tells, go and preach again. Are you listening to me? And that's our authority. Our marching order is, we discover the judgment, we therefore must go and preach it. Are you listening to me? Watch me again. Daniel 7 therefore shows the church its mission in the world today. Daniel 7 shows the church its mission in the world today. You rediscovered the gospel, which you later on obscured. So when the judgment was set, later on lost its obscuring dominion over the gospel. Are you listening to me? Because you and I, we rediscover the gospel. Amen, brethren? You must understand that pattern. And so Daniel chapter 7, this prophecy shows us the rise of transgressing nations and the Antichrist, which is the little horn. Yes. And it also shows us destruction of the gospel and its restoration when the judgment war starts. So when you learn that from Daniel, it helps you understand your mission, who you are. The people who rediscover the gospel, God didn't tell them to have a ministry. When you rediscover the gospel, you have the whole gospel, the 7 pillars of sacred theology. You don't become a ministry. You are the church, the pillar and ground of the truth. And if you are the church, it is your duty to tell all the ministries, accept this gospel. You are the one to tell the ministries, accept this gospel. You are the one to take these principles and plant it back in the church. You are the one to do it. Because the truth has been rediscovered. That's your high sacred calling. A Tuesday is not a feeble Christian. A Tuesday Seventh-day Adventist is not a dunce Christian. A Tuesday that stands on the pillars of the faith has divine authority and a sacred mission. And that sacred mission is to plant Christ our righteousness all over the world. To bring revival and reformation wherever you go. Notice this, watch. Notice what happens when a Tuesday knows the truth goes. Watch. Somebody in some religion invite you. You sit down and you hear the person speaking. So when you hear the person speaking, you hear the person speaking certain errors. You hear them talking about the Godhead. So hear them. God is 3 persons. That's what they say. You who have the pillar and ground of the truth say, no. If God is 3 persons, and God dwells in you, then 3 persons are in you. So immediately the two of them put up his hand and say, excuse me. They say the Bible says God is one. They say yes, one in unity. That's what they tell you. You say no, no, no. The Bible says God is number one. They say no. They tell you the Bible says Echad. And Echad is a united one. That's what they tell you. So you show them, we of Tuzia pull scriptures in the Old Testament where God used one for the number one. Amen. Like if he say, check from 1 to so and so, and the word Echad is used for one. So if one means united, why God tell you check from number 1 Echad? Because if he himself is using the word one for united, watch this. If they say the two shall be one flesh, the concept of one is still what? Number one. So if you are looking at when it says God is one, you're not to look at the persons, you have to look for number one. One, invisible, divine, spirit, nature, love. We don't have 3 loves. We have what? One love. Amen, brethren? Amen? Immediately you, the Tuzian, re-establishing the truth in the church. Immediately you bringing revival and reformation to that church. That is your role. With the rediscovery of the truth, that is your role. Amen. Your mission is to bring back revival and reformation to all the churches. Amen. That is your role. And that is why Daniel 7 gives you your role. Amen. So you must learn Daniel 7. Are you listening to me? Amen. Somebody come and say, oh, faith is believing and trusting. So what do you choose here? Faith is believing and trusting, but believing is an act of the human mind. It means to accept something as truth. Trusting is a mental attitude. It means to have confidence in something and reside in it. That is a mental attitude. Like a child trusts a parent. So if faith is believing and trusting, what should we do here? The devils believe and tremble. It means the devil acted more righteous than us. Because they believe there is one God and they are afraid, they're trembling. And we are told to fear God. So it means the devil acted more righteous than us. So faith cannot believe it. It cannot be believing. Why? Because everybody could believe. And everybody believes in something. But faith cannot be trusted. Why? Because everybody could trust. And the Bible says, all men have not faith. And if the Bible tells you justification is not by works, here the Tuesday talking to the person. If the Bible tells you justification is not by works, justification is by faith, then what are you saying if faith is believing? That justification is by believing? What are you saying if faith is trusting? That justification is by trusting? It is still works, but mental works and mental attitude. But no, no, no. Faith is not what? Trusting and believing. You must believe and you must trust, but don't call it faith. Amen? Amen? Watch me, my dear brother. Immediately, you, the Tuzian, have to correct that false doctrine. Did you see that? Yes. Now they'll tell you all they play, all they feel, all they know everything, and all they know, and all this something. Whatever you think, you have your mission. What do you say? Yes. And your mission is you are to plant the standard of what? Christ's righteousness there in the church. Amen? That is your mission. When you people here was spoken to by somebody and you decided to join this faith, do you know what you decided to do? To take the responsibility of Daniel 7 on your shoulders and the other chapters. That's what you decided to do. You decided to become part of a movement like nothing else upon the face of this earth. A movement that has divine credentials, divine mission to go and tell the earth the truth. If anybody wants to tell them, you have to tell them. If they come and tell you, well, Tuesdays are just like the traditional Adventists, well, they're teaching you are saved by law. We are saved by grace, not by law. It's you to go and tell them, your Bible says, give us thy law graciously. Amen. Grace gives you the law. Amen. So if you have grace, you must have what? The law. And if you don't have the law, then you don't have what? Grace. You're not under grace, but you're under condemnation. It's you to teach them. It's you to show them that. You are the one to show them that, because that's what God has given you with the special faith you have. Are you listening to me, my dear brother? Yes. That's what it is all about. Some of you all trample and trifle your calling and spoil your mind. Make it look as though you're just in a church like any other. No! You are not in a church like any other. You are not in a church like any other. You are in a church that has a pillar and ground of truth. The real gospel rediscovered after being lost. That's what you are in. And that's why you can give testimonies like what the brother said this morning about somebody dying. The doctors already call the family because the person is going to die. And they're in a coma. And they're not supposed to make it. And then I received a call. I was asked to come because they were calling me for the pastor and all these sort of things. I was to go in the hospital for the person dying, and I said, no. Go and pray and ask God to wake this person up out of the coma. Ask God to give them a last chance. Wake them up out of the coma. Go and talk the gospel to them and tell them to squeeze your hand if they accept, so they will know that it's not true. And the mother went and she prayed. And she prayed and prayed over and over and begged God. Only for the next day the doctor to call and say, the child is awake, come. And they put the clothes on the mother because it was a highly infectious disease. Put the clothes on the mother, let the mother go in. She talked the truth to the son. He accepted Christ, he squeezed the hand to show he accepted. Everything. And then she left. And he was given a little extension because during that time things will go in your mind, you the individual will accept. God gave the person a little extension to work out things in the mind. You accept, are you going to follow, are you going to be faithful? And by the morning, around 6 o'clock, call came, he was dead. So somebody who was already in a coma, dying, God gave him a chance. And he accepted the message. What did he say? And I had to warn the mother. I said, if you don't make it, I will adopt that son. Never. So make sure you are there. Are you listening to me, my dear brother? What would God cause God to also for us? Because you and I have been given a calling. I cannot say it as I should. I cannot emphasize it as I should. That. But watch me. Check any other thing. Ask them, show me your pillars. Just ask them, show me your pillars. Some of them don't even know. The church is built upon how much? 7 pillars. They don't even know that. Are you listening to me, my dear children? That's why you don't belong to a church. What has been given to you here, when you come in here and you sit down here, what has been given to you is the real pillar and ground of the truth. You see, I keep saying that over, and you're not understanding that the real church has the pillars of faith, and it is the ground of the truth. Because pillars won't float in the air, they are rooted where? So the real church is the pillar and what? Ground of the truth. And that's what, listen to me. You want to know, they say, oh my God, look at how much thousands of religions they have. Look at how much ministries quoted and quoted have. You want to know the real truth? You want to know which one is of God? The one who rediscovered the whole gospel through the judgment. And who God therefore say, you go and preach again. Those who are the pillars of the faith. And that's what has been given to you. You have land smack right in the real true church of God on earth today. That's what you have landed in. And that's why you should appreciate it. Amen? Go to Daniel chapter 8. Watch how Daniel chapter 8 presents it. Daniel chapter 8 presents the same thing, but in another way. Daniel chapter 8 presents the same thing, but in another way. Daniel chapter 8 tells us the origin and rise of the Antichrist to its persecution of God's people and the casting down of the truth until the cleansing of the sanctuary begins at the end of 2,300 years. So look at what Daniel 8 tells you. It tells you the same thing Daniel 7 tells you, but in another way. Do you know why God writes the truth that way? Because God uses different ways to plant the same truth in your heart. He uses how much? He uses what? Different ways to plant the what? Same truth in your heart. Watch this one. Daniel chapter 8 shows us the origins of the Antichrist. Where did the Antichrist come from? So you and I will know where to look. Watch this. An evangelical today, ask them where the Antichrist is coming from. Here are some of them. From Israel. The tribe of Dan. That's not what Daniel 9 says, Daniel 8 says. That's not what Daniel 8 says. Ask them, where did the Antichrist come from? Some of them say Germany, like Hitler. That's not what Daniel chapter 8 says. That people will not teach you error. Daniel 8 tells you the origins of the Antichrist, where he comes from. Amen? It shows you the casting down of the truths of the gospel to the ground by the Antichrist. That is what it shows you. The casting down of the truths of the gospel by the Antichrist. And Daniel 8 shows you the cleansing of the sanctuary at the end of the 2,200 days, which symbolizes years, is the limit of the casting down of the truth of the gospel. In other words, if you want to know how long the truth of the gospel will be cast down, the limit to it is when the sanctuary begins to be cleansed. So when the sanctuary begins to be cleansed, no longer is the truth able to be cast down to the ground and lost. Amen? It's the same thing in Daniel chapter 7, but it is giving you additional information. Are you seeing that, my dear brother? Are you seeing that? So we will look at from verse 8 to verse 14. Just taking a quick look at this. From verse 8, Daniel chapter 8, from verse 8 to verse 14. Let's read from the origins of the Antichrist. From verse 8. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones towards the 4 winds of heaven. Verse 9 now. Notice this. Verse 9. We're told, and out of one of them, the 4 winds of the heaven, came forth a what? Little horn, which waxed out exceeding great. Towards where? The south? And where? The east? And where? Towards the pleasant land. So one thing you know for sure. This little horn waxes exceeding great towards the south. South, when you take Israel as the center, or Judah as the center, south is Egypt. So he waxed great to the south. This power must gain control of Egypt. And then, we are told towards the east. From Judah, east was then at that time the Seleucid Empire. So he must take control of the Seleucid Empire. And then we are told towards the pleasant land, which is Judah itself, or Palestine. So then that horn must conquer Palestine. History shows us that is what happened. Are you listening to me, my dear brother? The only horn that did that was pagan Rome or political Rome. Are you hearing me? When political Rome grew strong, it grew strong to the south, to the east, and towards the desert land. And even in the south, it did conquer Carthage, a power that was its rival in those days. So what do you have here? You have this horn becoming exceeding great. But this horn is political Rome. But the horn also has a second phase, a second part. The horn was changed from pagan Rome to papal Rome, from political Rome to spiritual Rome. So that this horn must not only be political Rome, but must also become what? Spiritual Rome. When Rome becomes a spiritual power. Are you listening to me? Let's see where the transition takes place from political to spiritual, from pagan to papal. Let's see when the change takes place. Let's read on. Verse 10. Verse 10. And it waxed great even to the host of the heavens, and it cast down some of the hosts of the stars to the ground and stamped upon them. Did you see that? In the Bible, the hosts of the heaven are Christians. The Bible tells us Christians will shine as stars as the hosts of heaven. So here this form attacked Christians and cast them to the ground and murder them. That is where the change takes place from political Rome to spiritual Rome. You see, both did the same thing. So verse 10 is applicable to the two. In verse 10, pagan Rome attacked the church and murdered millions of Christians. And then when papal Rome took over, they too attacked Christians and murdered millions. Remember, under pagan Rome, Peter was crucified upside down on a cross. Paul lost his head. James was killed with a sword. A lot of Christians were thrown into the arena and murdered by wild animals. So you had pagan Rome doing that. Political Rome did that. But when spiritual Rome took over, they too caused Christians to be murdered more than pagan Rome. They murdered more than 66 million. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
So verse 10 is the change from what? Pagan Rome to what? Papal Rome. From what? Political Rome to what? Spiritual Rome. Verse 10. So by the time we go to verse 11, it is spiritual Rome doing this. Let's read. Verse 11. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host. Who is the prince of the host? Jesus Christ. And papal Rome lifts itself up even to Jesus Christ, because the head of papal Rome became known as the substitute Christ. The Antichrist, the substitute Christ. He became known as Lord God the Pope, Christ on earth. So he magnified himself up to Christ, the Prince of the host. Watch this. It goes on. Yea, he magnified himself even to the Prince of the host, and by him, the Hebrew is really from the Prince of the host, the daily, the word sacrifice is not in the original, from him, the Prince of the host, the daily was taken away, and the place of the sanctuary was what? Cast off. Did you just see that? There's a sanctuary in heaven. Christ is the minister of that sanctuary. He is the Prince of the host, or the ruler of Christians. And papal Rome, or spiritual Rome, magnified himself up to Christ, and took away from Christ the daily, which he identifies as the ministration of Christ in the heavenly sanctuary. It took away the ministration of Christ and the fact that Christ was the minister of the heavenly sanctuary. That's what it took away. And the very place where the sanctuary is was cast where? Down. So early Christians used to look to the sanctuary in heaven by faith, but when spiritual Rome finished, they started to look down on the earth in Catholic church building. You will see a box and a little sunburst on the box. When you open the box, you will see a chalice with a round white cookie that they say is the body and blood of Christ. They're telling you that is Christ in the sanctuary. How could Satan ridicule us more? They take the mind off from Christ's will in the sanctuary and cast the mind down to Catholic churches on the earth. No wonder why the church lost the truth. What did he say? And the truth had to come back. But it didn't only tell you that. Let's read on. Verse 12. And a host, a large amount of people that is, was given him papal Rome against the daily administration of Christ. By reason of what? Transgression. So when people joined papal Rome or the papal churches, they didn't join it from the administration of Christ in the sanctuary. They joined it against the administration of Christ. Because Christ ministered his Holy Spirit to tell you, don't go there. But they will use the law of the land and child baptism to force you to go there. Let's read on. And a host was given him against the day by reason of what? Transgression. And what did it do? It cast down the truth to the ground and it what? Practiced and it what? Prospered. So for years the Catholic Church has done that and prospered. They exist today. Some people usually say, well, if the church is not of God, it wouldn't strive. Excuse me? Would you say the Catholic Church is of God? No. Did it strive? Yes. It strived for years, even though it was not of God. So Daniel chapter 8 is showing the origins of the Antichrist. The Antichrist came from Rome. Not from Israel. It is not to come from Israel in the future. He already came. The Antichrist is not Hitler's Germany. He was there long before Hitler and Germany. He rose up from Rome. You are to look for Rome changing and become spiritual and look for the Antichrist coming from there. Are you listening to me? These are important lessons. Do not let it fall by the way. That's where you have to look for it to come. So any one of you who looks for the Antichrist, remember, the Antichrist must come from pagan Rome. When pagan Rome is changed into what? Papal Rome or spiritual Rome. Are you listening to me? That's where you have to look. So Daniel 8 shows you the origins of the what? Antichrist. It shows you the passing on the truth to the ground by the what? Antichrist. And then we come to the magic verse. Verse 14. Let's read. Verse 14. Verse 13. And then verse 14. Verse 13. Then I heard one saying speaking, and another saying said unto that certain saying which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the day and the transgression of desolation? That phrase, transgression of desolation, speaks about Rome. In this case, here, it is being used for pagan and what? Papal Rome. That's why Jesus said, when you see the abomination of what? Desolation, standing where? In the olden days. It means in Jesus' time, Rome will be existing. But it will still be pagan. Amen? So let's read on. Continue. We are told, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot? The question is being asked, until when will the papacy be allowed to suppress the truth, to persecute Christians, to destroy the truth about the sanctuary underfoot? Until when will it be allowed to do that? Here's the golden answer from the golden verse, verse 14. And he said unto me, until 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. What does this mean? It means 2,300 days in the Bible in these years must pass Did you get that? How much must pass? 2,300 years must pass. What marks the end of it? So that you would know the Pope will no longer hide the truth. The truth about the sanctuary comes back. We are told until 2,300 days, what is the event that happened? Then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. So when the sanctuary begins to be cleansed at the end of the 2,300 days, then the truth will come back. I want to surprise you, brethren, here. I want you, brethren, to think. When does this 2,300 days begin? Daniel 9 will tell you it's supposed to begin from the year 457 what? Before what? 457 BCB, before Christ's birth. That time the Persians are still ruling. Amen? Amen. At that time who is still ruling? That's right. And no wonder why Daniel chapter 8 begins with the Persians. Because the 2,300 days must start from when the Persians are ruling. Then the Greeks must come. Then the Romans must come. Then the 10 nations. And out of one of them from Rome comes papal Rome. Amen, brethren? Did you see that? So the 2,300 years is meant to cover from Persia down to when the judgment starts. Are you listening to me, my dear brother? Are you listening to me? Watch this. What takes place in the judgment in the sanctuary? What are you going to learn? You are going to learn that the judgment must begin first at the house of God. And it begins at the church. You're going to learn your name is going to come up before the judgment. And when your name comes up before the judgment, it is a judgment going on. So the same judgment in chapter 7, at which we rediscover the gospel, is the same judgment called the cleansing of the sanctuary that starts at the end of the 2,300 days when we rediscover the sanctuary. And when we rediscover the sanctuary, we learn that the second apartment opened at the end of the 2,300 days. We see the law of God there in the ark. It means the judgment has started. The cleansing of the sanctuary has started. So God's people must now go and preach again. And what must they say? Fear God and what? For the hour of days. That's right. Amen? And that's what Daniel 8 says. That's why anybody, are you hearing me? Anybody that claims to be God's church in the last days must teach that Jesus Christ is in heaven ministering over the heavenly sanctuary. Amen. It tells you where to send your prayers. You can't see the heavenly sanctuary from on earth. But the just shall live by revealed truths. So the revealed truths tell you the judgment is taking place where? In the heavenly sanctuary. So when you kneel down and pray, what do you have in your mind? The heavenly what? Sanctuary, where Christ is there, and that's where you send your prayer. Once you send your prayer there, your prayer is not misdirected. It is a prayer that God can hear. And this is the reason why the only church that has authority to move God's hand kingdom is the one whose praise go to the heavenly sanctuary where Jesus Christ is, still ruling in the midst of his enemies. That is the power that God has given to you. What do you say? You have great power. So you have a lot of ministries, quote unquote. Some of them teach health reform, we call it health reform. I see. They're all kind of prophetic, this ministry, prophetic, that ministry, soldier ministry, all kind of ministry. And guess what? They don't have the pillar and ground of the truth. They don't visualize Christ where he's supposed to be and confess their sins there. And that's the reason why as a Christian you have a high privilege. Let me tell you something. I'm telling you this for the first time. Or maybe not. Everybody who prays have double thoughts in their mind. Everybody who prays has double thoughts in their mind. One is conscious, one is subconscious. You always have two levels of consciousness when you pray. You have your conscious level and you have your subconscious level. When your prayer is organized, you ever hear somebody say they're praying but the mind running riot? Yes. It means their conscious mind is operating one way and their subconscious mind is operating another way. That means their prayer is just a theory. That is why you must pray with faith. So when you're praying, you have two things in your mind. The God who you're praying to in your conscious mind and where your prayer going in your subconscious mind. But not just only that. Not just only where your prayer is going in your subconscious mind. In your subconscious mind you have the meaning of your prayer. So if you're saying, God justify me, in your subconscious mind you mean change me. Did you hear that? Yes. And that is the reason why your prayer is now harmonious, perfect, complete. And anybody here that is developing prayer must learn to deal with the two minds. The conscious and the what? Subconscious. And make sure they are unified in what you're praying for. When you get up and you finish, you feel confident. You actually get a sense of confidence that God has heard you. Amen. Amen? That is the reason why all these things are given to us to develop us. Now quickly, let's go to chapter 9.
So you're not coming to think about it, but the Christian really is the religious superior between them and the Muslim. They get the Muslim praying 5 times, 3 times a day, 5 times a day. And they pray only reaching Mecca. And then the Christian pray and this prayer goes to heaven.
Every time you pray, there's always a double consciousness. Even Muslims have it too. So when you pray, they know where they're sending their prayers to Mecca. So they turn to Mecca. Say, in your mind you have Mecca. What does it have to Mecca for any of us? Nothing. But in your mind it's going where to the heavenly world. Where our forerunner is for us what? Enter. Within the veil. Amen? So remember that. Wonderful. So Daniel chapter 9. In Daniel chapter 9, God put a burden over Daniel. Daniel knew that he was a very old man and he was coming to his end just now. But he had a great concern for God's people. It's like if you have a child and you know you're just about to die, you won't live for too long, and you're looking at your child, and you want to know what will happen to this child in the future, so you go down and pray and ask God to show you. And then God gives you a vision, showing you what will happen in the future. But he starts off by breaking up the vision for you. So Daniel wanted to know what will happen to God's people. So he went and prayed in chapter 9. And what God tells him, I'm going to show you two things. I'm going to show you God's people as it relates to the Jews. And God's people after the Jews. You didn't hear that? Yes. I'm going to show you God's people as it relates to the what? Jews. And afterwards I will show you God's people as it relates to everyone else. Because after the Jews, God prophesies of a Jerusalem that will exist on the earth as cities and villages without walls. You didn't hear that one? Yes, sir. You see, so when an evangelical today is looking to Jerusalem in the Middle East, you have to tell them, but that is not the Jerusalem the Bible said will exist in Zechariah. The Bible says we have to look for a Jerusalem that are towns without walls. And the law of God is as a wall of fire around them. True. Amen. So what you are supposed to look for is not a city, but large groups of people, or small, and it multiplies all over the world, and what is around them is the law of God, not a wall. That is the Jerusalem Zechariah said you are supposed to look for in the future. Say somebody turns to Jerusalem in the Middle East here, wrong, that is one city. God said look for towns, plural. Towns, plural. He said they mustn't have a wall, but they must have the law of God making them what they are. Amen? That's what Zechariah tells you. So when that happens, that one won't be the Jews. So that's why Daniel 9 will tell you, God cuts 490 years off from the what? 300 years to apply to the Jews. Did you see that? He says, I will cut 490 years off from the 2300 years. Or years. And that 490 years will apply to the Jews. You want to know what will happen to your people? And then he tells them, what will happen within the 490 years? At that time, Daniel was in Babylon, under the Persian Empire. God told him the city and the temple will be rebuilt, the wall of Jerusalem will be rebuilt. He also told them that the Messiah will be anointed at the start of 1 week, which is 7 years. So Daniel understands that within the 490 years the Messiah was to come. Jews today are still looking for him. But the Bible already tells you, he came already. You see why you're not supposed to be a Pentecostal or evangelical? Because if you are an evangelical and saying the Jews are God's people who are waiting for the Messiah to come, when they have rejected the Messiah, and you send billions of dollars from your country to them, you are actually sustaining people who rejected the true Messiah. Are you listening to me? And the whole of American foreign policy, what did I just say? The whole of American foreign policy has been corrupted just because they don't understand this prophecy. Do you know what President Trump said? Israel in 1967 conquered the Golan Heights, which had always belonged to Syria. It never belonged to them. It had belonged to Syria. The crooks and them found billions and billions of dollars worth of oil below. The oil and good quality oil there. Not even poor quality oil we have in Trinidad. High quality oil. Not only was that supposed to make Syria rich, but rich and powerful. You know what President Trump said last week? He recognized the Golan Heights as belonging to Israel. That's against international law. International law states a conquering country in a land cannot rule that land as their own and take from the resources of that land as their own. It's against international law. But he comes against international law for Israel and says the Golan Heights belongs to Israel. But you know what the mainstream media didn't tell you? Do you know what the mainstream media didn't tell you? They didn't tell you Rothschild oil firm from America already digging for oil here. An Israeli firm with it. That's what they didn't tell you. That is illegal. Any oil they draw from there belongs to Syria. But they're stealing it. And the media didn't tell you that. So you watch and say, well, what does that have to do with me? I just born in Arima, I just go to home, bring home in Arima, I just go to work and I just go back home. That is happening because they don't understand prophecy like you're supposed to. Like you're supposed to, they don't understand. So they're stealing. You see, the Messiah already came. That wasn't the 490 years cut off. It also telling the Messiah is sacrificed in the midst of the week of the 7 years. So it's telling the Messiah to die already. And resurrection. Yes. And then, after that, it goes on and tell you what will happen to the Jews after the death of the Messiah. The Jews and their temple will be what? Destroyed. That's what it tells you. And it goes way in the future. It tells you they will never be able to build the temple even to the time when the wrath of God falls on the Antichrist. That's what it tells you. You didn't see that beautiful truth. If your mind is hazy or slow in appreciating this, just dedicate yourself to understand the truth. And God will take you what? Peace, what? By peace, by what? Peace, and make you understand everything. Amen, brethren? Let's repeat again. It tells you after the Messiah is dead and resurrected again, it tells you the Jews and their temple will be what? Destroyed. And it tells you it will never again be rebuilt, even to the time when the wrath of God falls upon the Antichrist. The wrath of God falls upon the Antichrist yet? No. So they're trying to rebuild the temple. The Bible says no. Amen? So let's just look at a portion of 9 that shows up here. Daniel chapter 9. 27. Verse 27. And he, that is the Messiah, shall confirm the covenant with many for how much? 1 week, which is 7 years. 7 days in a week, 1 week will be 7 years in Bible prophecy. And in the midst of the week, he will cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. So when Christ died, no longer need to stay alive. The sacrifice and the oblation what? Cease. When Christ died, the death of Christ abolished forever the commandments of killing lambs and so on as a symbol of his death. Because the true one came. So he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. Now watch. And for the overspreading of abominations, Lord, he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured out upon the desolate. The desolate is the people. So we are told when the sacrifices cease, the amount of corruption that the Jews have been doing, God is going to destroy everything. Let's read it again. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. Now here comes the part. And for the overspreading of abomination which the Jews will do after the death of Christ, he shall make it desolate, all the sacrifices and oblations with the sanctuary of God. Even until the what? Consummation. That is the final finish. And that determined, or what God appointed, shall be poured out upon what? The desolator, which is the papacy. In other words, for years will pass, no temple. The Jews will do plenty evil until the time the wrath of God falls upon the desolator. Remember the abomination of what? Desolation. And the transgression of what? Desolation. Is the little horn. The spiritual wrong side. That is the desolator. And that God determined will be poured out upon the papacy or paper rule, which is what Daniel 11 explained down to here. So what do you have here? Daniel 9 tells us this. Daniel 9 tells us that we are not follow American foreign policy with regard to the state of Israel. We are not to do that. We are not to allow evangelicals to deceive us, to make us think physical Jews are God's people. If you are Jew or Gentile, once you have Christ in you, you are God's people. That's what it tells us. You see, this is the reason why evangelicals don't have a calling from God. For you to have a calling from God, certain errors in history must be corrected. Amen. You didn't hear me? Amen. If you are to have a calling from God, certain errors in history must be corrected. And Daniel 9 corrects many of them. Are you listening to me? Daniel 9 corrects many of them. Do you get up to my dear baby? And that's the reason why you and I must be sure to make our calling and selection one. Yes, brother.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, but and the river bank after get baptized and etc. A bright light fall upon him. So they're showing the connection of portal, the ability between humanity was open, will be established again. Right, so through that now, you want to be afraid of all these different things that might was because all of us to be saved through Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Understood about several weeks or 490 years.
That's it.
What do you find out about the 20,000 days or years? Pregnant sanctuary.
He wanted to find out about God's people in the future. And the future is God's people among the Jews, 490 years given to them. And the rest, he will be shown in it in Daniel chapter 11.
Now, once you have it all the time, for all these are scattered and the time that you get that starts from 6:06, right? Coming up right, right?
Yes.
I want to find out a little more about that. A little more about that timing. The second apartment, or the second apartment. Okay?
That's a whole big thing. That's a question for Daniel chapter 2 and 12. That's what you ask the question for. Well, let me answer you this and tell you this. Each of the chapters are getting later and later in history. Okay? Chapter 2 gives you the whole thing from the head of gold down to the feet of iron and clay. Okay? And it tells us that the subject of God's kingdom shall be laid up. The next prophetic chapter was chapter 7. It too starts from Babylon and tells us the judgment shall sit and the gospel that was taken away shall come back. Chapter 8 tells us it comes back at the beginning of the cleansing of the sanctuary at the end of the 2,300 days which are years. Daniel in 9 wanted to know what will happen to his people in the future. And he prayed and God said, okay, I'll show you. He cuts off 490 years from the 2,300 years and he says, here is what will happen to your people, the Jewish people. The Messiah will come, and the city will be rebuilt back, the walls will be rebuilt back, the Messiah will come. For 7 years, he will be baptized. In the midst of the 7 years, he will die, causing the sacrifices to cease. And because of the overspreading of abomination that you, Jews, will be doing, he shall make the sanctuary, the sacrifices, everything desolate. He'll destroy it, even until the time of the final finish, which is the 7 last plagues. When that he had determined will be poured out upon the desolator, the papacy. And that's what Daniel 9 ends. So Daniel 9 tells us that when Christ dies, the Jews are no longer a special people called of him. So the gospel goes outside of them and spreads to other people, which is what chapter 11 will show you.
Amen.
Amen. So one day is what chapter 11, then one more chapter. Daniel 9:26. The verse 26. And after 62 weeks, the Messiah shall be cut off. That is speaking about the death of the Messiah. But not for himself. So he dies for our sake. And the people of the prince that shall come, Christ is the prince that shall come. The people of the prince, remember the Bible says he came unto his own and his own what? Those are the Jews. The people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city that is Jerusalem and the sanctuary. Remember, Jerusalem was destroyed and his sanctuary because of the Jews' behavior. It is Jewish behavior that caused the Roman to raze everything to the ground. So the people of the prince that is Christ that should come shall destroy the whole sanctuary and the city, and the end of it, the end of the city and the sanctuary, thereof shall be with a flood. That's a big overflowing of people. And until the end of the war, the same flood. Desolation are what? Determined. So when the Romans finish, the place will be what? Desolated. So all this is showing the Jews will be responsible for the sanctuary being destroyed because of the overspreading of abominations. Then 27 tells us in another way, and he, that is Christ, the Messiah, or the Prince, shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, that is 7 years. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. Right? That is the Messiah being cut off. But not for himself. And for the overspreading of abominations, which the Jews will do, he shall make it, the city and sanctuary, desolate, but more the sanctuary and the services desolate, even until the consummation, the final finish, and that God determined, the 7 last plagues, shall be poured out upon the desolate, or the desolated papacy. So way down even that time, they won't get to rebuild the sanctuary and start back up the sacrificial systems there. That's what we are doing. That was chapter 9. Now we have studies in Daniel, in this shirt, so if you don't want, make sure you get a copy and it will show you all of these things in much more detail. But watch, Daniel chapter 11. What does it show you in a nutshell? It shows you the history of the conflict with what? God's people. What does it also show you? The war of the what? Antichrist upon what? God's people. Watch me. And what does it show you? The final revival and destruction of the world. So it means to say, the Antichrist will be wounded, then he will be revived, and then he will be what? Destroyed. And that is what Revelation will show you. You see the walk with the sword and they live. And the final issue of the mark of the beast is to honor the beast that receive the walk with the sword and what? They live. The revived papacy. So Daniel and Revelation takes over from Daniel. And after we look at this, we're just briefly looking at this, and then chapter 12, we want to show you just where does Daniel connect to Revelation. 2 places. 2 places. You will find it. You will find the key that brings the 2. So you can say Daniel and the Revelation. That's the way we finish. Just before that, let's just look at something quickly in chapter 11. Chapter 11. Let's look at 4:0 and 4:5. Chapter 11, 4:0 and 4:5. 4:0. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind with chariots and horsemen and with many ships, and he shall come into the country and shall overflow and pass over. Stop. This tells us something that happened at the time of the end. You would have learned that the time of the end started in 1798. And we are told something happens at the time of the end, 1798. We are told the king of the south pushed against him, the king of the north. In the Bible, in Daniel 11, it tells us the king of the north is first political rule, and then the king of the north changes to spiritual rule. That's what it tells us. And it tells us the king of the south is spiritual Egypt, which is Illuminism, atheism, communism, socialism, the New World Order, globalism, call it like what you want to call it. A sustainable earth. Call it what you want to call it. It's the king of the south. So we are told in 1798, the king of the south pushed against the papacy. In 1790, the Illuminati wounded the papacy. The Pope was taken captive from the French Revolution, Napoleon's forces, carried into France where he died. The papacy was abolished. Shortly after, the papacy was re-established and began to take back the forces that it had. But we are being told of a time in the future when the papacy will conquer like a whirlwind. Yes. But it will happen in the period called the time of the end. We are still in the time of the end. The time of the end ends when the last plane falls. And Christ is soon coming. So we are still in the war, time of the end. So somewhere in this time, the papacy is going to conquer with like a whirlwind and take over the countries, not politically, but spiritually. They will get governments to legislate Sunday that we will have an international Sunday law. They will get governments to do that. They will come back like a bang. And we are told with that furious attack that they wage, they will influence the world. This Pope today has to go. Because this Pope is a communist and is working against the papacy. If the papacy is to have a revival, this Pope has to go. This Pope is trying to destroy the papacy and destroy the office of the Pope. No problem for us, but we just know it won't happen. That's not how the papacy ends. Latest video shows the Pope put out his hand and people going to kiss his ring and he pull it from there. Again another one, he pull it back from there. Again another one, he move away from it. Instead of taking the worship, he is trying to destroy the papacy. But Cardinal Burke, who now set up his own website, is hitting out at him. And the day you see that man becomes Pope, Cardinal Burke, that's it. Because he's when you look at his face, he looks like an evil Pope. Although he's just a cardinal. But Francis looks like he hasn't gotten his focus on his purpose yet. So, my dear brethren, this is what is going on. You have to be awake in reality. Yes, my dear sisters. Some say the king of the soul was Muslim. Who said that? Oh! John Batchelor said that? You were saying that? John Batchelor said the Muslims is the king of the south. You heard it too? Hey, brother? You watch it? Oh my God! Yeah, John Batchelor is supposed to be a Jewish Russian who became an Adventist and migrated to America. And he is supposed to be one of the top Adventist preachers. But then we are told many shall stand on the torch, on our pulpit with the torch of what? False prophecy. It could be Islam. Because if you check Israel, watch it. King of the north, king of the south, the state where Israel is must be used as the standard to judge north and south. Islam is the East. So if you say the king of the East, then I'm going to say over there properly. When you say king of the North, king of the South. Furthermore, Daniel 11 shows us when Rome arises and shows us when Rome becomes the new king of the North. And then it tells us Egypt, commonly called the king of the South, is Egypt in the form of atheism. Where the Pharaoh says, who is that Yahweh that I should obey? I don't know any Yahweh, and neither will I obey him. And let the Israelites go and work. So they believe in work above serving God. You see, communist China is just what? Work, no serving God. Remember in the Soviet Union, work, no serving God. So the king of the South is communism, socialism, atheism. Today you call it globalism. Today you call it the New World Order. And it is full of names of blasphemy. Whether you want to say IMF, World Bank, Family Planning Association, Goldman Sachs, Federal Reserve, whatever, all of them are the names of blasphemy to the king of the South. But watch. Daniel chapter 11 shows us a history of the conflict with God's people. It shows us the war of the Antichrist upon God's people. And it shows us the final revival and destruction of the Antichrist. Let's look at this last part here. 45. 11:45. And he shall plant, as the king of the north, the tabernacle of his palace between the seas in the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. Did you see that? Watch me. This we are being told, right? The tabernacle of his palace. Palace is kingship. Tabernacle is religion. So this power is a power that rules as a nation, but it is a religion. So the religion of his rulership will be planted between the seas in the glorious holy mountain. In the Bible, between the seas would mean the Mediterranean Sea and in the east, what we will know today as the Arabian Sea. This points out where Judah and Israel was. We are actually being told that in his final attack, the king of the north, the papacy, would be able to impact God's people of the last days. They will take over a large amount of God's people. That's the reason why God set us up as an independent Seventh-day Adventist church, spreading all over the world. Because we are waiting here to catch the members when they fall into our arms. Because we are the pillar and ground of the truth. And that organization will yield to the papacy. They have already begun to do it. I have I have 24 videos. I've cut off portions to show you here. I put them aside in my files. And each one is to show you how far the organization has gone falling to the papacy right now. Each of that 24 is to show you. And while I get at 24, I got more. So a day we're going to have study here, it will be a video study about Laodicea. And I will give you documentary proof that they are falling already to the king of the north. So when the king of the north comes with force, a lot of them, how Mrs. White put it? Let me quote her. She says, when the time shall come upon us, the whole conservative class in the Adventist church that have been steadily holding back the advance of the gospel will abandon their quote-unquote faith and join the ranks of the enemy. She says these former brethren will become your most bitterest enemy, bringing great misrepresentations against you to the law of the land. That's Daniel chapter 11 verse 45 she's talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is what is going to happen. That is why God has us existed. That's why you are urged to learn the truth now before it is too late. That's why you are called upon to do that. You really don't know the importance of it. This church existing is a miracle. This church existing is a miracle. You go to any of these ministries, quote unquote, or claims of revival, and you will never get anything like this church. You get the pin and ground of the truth here. You get spiritual and moral sanity here. And constant call to prepare for the end. All right here. Are you listening to me? And you see this church, let me tell you a secret if it is a secret. This church have one big super reaping to do in this country. Did you hear what I said? You think it's only 100,000 you get in? This is 1.3 million here. We are getting more than 100,000. You won't believe how much people have been reached by the television program. Everywhere, all over this country. Children and all. That's why I chose the format that we have for the program. If I was going to say, go and give a long talk on justification, people will hear and they won't remember. They won't remember. They don't have the appetite for those things. If you want to talk about the investigative judgment or the death of Christ, they will say, yeah, but they won't be able to make a distinction. But if you show them destruction coming and tell them to accept Christ, that they will move back. That's why our program has taken that format. And we have reached a lot of people. So there's a guy, whenever he see me, he'll always call me and say, run for your life. The last time he saw me, he got it right. He said, escape for your life. So you see, a lot of people are being reached. But you see, one man alone can't reach them. That's why you all are called here. That's why you all are here. You all are here to do it. And you won't believe away how much people have been reached with this truth. Let me tell you one thing. Somebody saw a video we made. And the video have been put up probably about 3 to 4 years. They didn't like it. And they talk to YouTube. YouTube banned the video in almost all countries of the world. And they even bold enough to tell us which country. I even see the Vatican and all. They didn't ban it from Costa Rica. They didn't ban it from Chile or one of those other countries. Of all the countries in the world, about 4 or 5 it wasn't banned from. But they banned it from all the other countries. Why do you think so? Because the gospel is going into what? All the countries of the world, including the Vatican. Yes. So you have to have courage that your faith is working for God and for you. Is that understood? You have to know your identity, know who you are. This is not, I repeat it again, this is not a ministry. This is the church that is the pillar and ground of the church. Somebody may put up prophetic something ministry. Okay, fine. That's not the church. This is the church. The church of enthusiasts. This is the church. And this knowledge of the truth fits you into that. Chapter 12. So we come to Daniel chapter 12. And fittingly, the last chapter, Daniel chapter 12, tells us about the finishing of the judgment, down to the special resurrection. And a blessing is announced upon those who know when the Antichrist is set up, when the time of the end begins, and when the cleansing of the sanctuary is about to begin. Special blessing is placed upon people in chapter 12. Above that. So Daniel chapter 12 tells us the finishing of the judgment. It gives us the special resurrection. It identifies the final saints. That time they are called wise. The saints of the last days are super brilliant people in the truth. Because the 144,000 has to be made up. Who do you think is to make up the 144,000? If every time you go in church and preaching, they can't be sin-free. They can't be sin-free. Christ's righteousness is on the record for you. And when God looks, he doesn't look at you, you look at Christ. And when you see Christ, he doesn't see your sin, he sees Christ as righteousness. And you will pass. Nonsense. False theology. If you drum it in a person's heart, they can't make, they can't make, they can't make. And you put the authority of God with that. How you expect them to think they can make? Do you know the Bible has a scripture to drum it in your head? You're supposed to think, you're supposed to think, you're supposed to believe that you are sin-free when you are made sin-free. Just before we look at Daniel 12, let's look at Romans 6, verse 11. They always tell you, well, if you say you sin-free, that's proud and boasting. Nobody say I'm not proud and boasting to say that. What do I want you to go and say? You're preaching. And somebody come and say, look at all these sinners. You want them to say, well, okay, I am a sinner in sin. Then what are you preaching for? You're supposed to know I'm preaching, not sinning. And if you're preaching and not sinning, then you're free from sin when you're preaching. And you're not calling them to be in sin, you're calling them to be what? Away from sin, that's right. And here's the hope the Bible gives you in Romans chapter 6, verse 11. Let's just read that here. Likewise, reckon ye also yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin, but alive unto God through Jesus Christ our Lord. Did you see how God tell you to think about yourself? He says, reckon ye yourself also. Why would he tell you that? What does it mean to reckon? To reckon means to think and to esteem. It means a mental estimation. God wants you to esteem yourself to be indeed dead unto sin. What does it mean to be dead unto sin? Look at verse 1 and verse 2. What shall we say then? Shall we what? Continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid. How shall we that are what? Dead to sin, live there, any longer there. So God is showing a person who is dead to sin doesn't live in sin. Let me put it in our language. A person who is dead to sin is not sinning. Amen. 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 You get where the phrase sinning comes from? If you are dead to sin, then you are not what? Sinning. But if you are alive to sin, then you're doing what? You're sinning. God says, no. Reckon indeed yourself. You also must think about yourself when He make you sin free. You must think about yourself that way. That's not pride. That's having a right esteem of yourself. Now, people who learn that could produce the 140 and 4,000. That's right. And you imagine you say, but what? I can be free from sinning. I can be sin free. And when you read about the 140 and 4,000, they are without fault before the throne. That's what you say, brother. I want to be part of them. Amen. So the straight and important fact is, the church must reach a stage to produce the 140 and 4,000. Laodicea cannot do that because you already have a defeatist, failed theology that tells you if you even think that way, you're proud. Oh, in heaven's name. So all the angels in heaven, notice in free proud. Does it make sense? That is where you're trying to find fault when none exists. Didn't catch that one, I'm going to fly way over your head. You're trying to find fault there, what? None exists. If you're sin free, what are you trying to find fault? What does the Bible says? He must be able to present you what? Faultless before the throne. You see? So they're trying to find fault where no fault is. Did you get that, my dear brethren? Isn't that wonderful? That's the privilege given to you. You would not get any church teaching you that. Yes, my dear.
I just wanted to say this. The only reason why in Laodicea they would view being sin-free as being prideful is because they have a false justification. They do their works to become sin-free. But when you understand that it's God that making you sin-free, and you say you are sin-free, it has nothing boasting there because the work is of God, God getting the glory.
Amen.
And that is from God in us.
Amen. Amen. So we say what we said with absolute humility because we are nothing and God is God alone. There is no other God. Only God. Alone. You catch that? Alone. What do you think when you say one God? You know I have to give you a study here. To show you oneness in the Bible means aloneness. Now in other religions, oneness doesn't mean aloneness. Say for him, he'll tell you, God is a world soul, one world soul. That is a soul that pervades the whole world, but made up of many different gods. So that is one without being what? Alone. The oneness you are teaching is supposed to be what? Holiness. Because holiness means what? Aloneness. That's what you're supposed to teach. You're supposed to teach a oneness that is an aloneness. That's what you're supposed to teach. Amen? So when a Muslim watch you and say God is one, you just say God is one alone. Amen? Amen? Because you understand aloneness, holiness. Nothing like unto him, the Bible says. He is different from everything. He's like nothing else. So he's alone the way he is. So oneness is what? aloneness. You have to learn that, eh? That's my just to serve you.
To preach a God that is not God alone, which is numerically one, is to defeat the first commandment, because the commandment said, thou shalt have no other gods, plural, before me. So if you have 1,000 gods and they can be one, which one is me?
So turn out to Daniel 12. Watch this. It shows the final saints are wise. It shows when the Antichrist is set up. It shows the time of the end. It shows the time when the blessing of the sanctuary is to begin. You can't take a look at everyone, but let's just look at a couple of them. Let's read from verse 1. 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. So he's standing for us, mediating for us. Then he stands up. He stops that move. And when that happens, what happens? Let's see. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was, since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be what? Delivered. Every one that shall be found written in the book, because the judgment just finished. Yes. The name is retained in the book, you shall be delivered. What do you say? So that's the finishing of the judgment. Fitting to the book of Daniel. What do you say? And then it goes on and gives you a special resurrection. You know why? You see, God is a God that always likes any sinner or anybody who is lost to know why. He likes it to know why. There are many of them that died lost and they didn't know why. They thought they had a divine commission. And also, every single one of you who died now, since 1844, with the sanctuary being open, you must get a special blessing placed upon you for following the faith. Amen. Because that, from that time, is a special blessing upon people. You sit down here, but you don't know you have a better blessing than Isaiah. You even have a better blessing than Daniel. Daniel isn't the good thing. You'll say, I only see him in vision, but I wish I'm living your time now. You have a better blessing than Peter. Because you must come to a certain amount of days to get a special blessing. So the Bible shows you two great opposers of his work, and all of who died in the faith of the terrible judgment. It's presented here in this verse. Verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and what? Everlasting contempt. That is a partial resurrection, because there's some coming up, not all. Some coming up, not all, on both sides. So Jesus died in his faith. Before Christ is literally seen in heaven, he's going to raise you up. Let me tell you something. Listen to me. In all those Pentecostal and evangelical churches, all those Buddhists, all those Chinese communists, all those Jewish Illuminati people, and the state of Israel, and all the godless rabble with their sodomites and feminists rejoicing at you because they see the Lord beat you down and murder you and kill you. They beat you down. They murder you, they kill you, and they're rejoicing. They figure that's the end of you. Some of them kill you and take your house. Kill you, take your field. The bank take your bank account and they give it to the Gentiles. They beat you down and they feel happy that with their mighty weapons they murder you and kill you. A small girl like you, all you do is, your power is only in your mind from your body. And they feel they're so powerful because they beat down your flesh. A big muscular man like you have strength, you can fight back. But you know, the wrath of man does not work the what? Righteousness of God. So they beat it on and they say, oh, we get the strongest, we get the biggest. In body, huh? Not in faith. And they're rejoicing only for a certain time, a few days before the world ends, like about 7 days before the world ends. Guess what? They hear you back again. The same girl they beat down, the same man they beat down before probation closes comes up in the special resurrection. And they ever look, I killed that Adventist. And you are alive. Isn't that wonderful? Of course it is wonderful. When that special resurrection takes place, many of those who died in the faith of the teenagers will come up. Some will say, we always say, Ellen White is a false prophet. Then what you doing here? Or is evangelical? Ellen White is a false prophet. Ellen White is a... Then what is she doing here? Tell them, Adventist is a cult. Adventist is a cult. Apparently the cult was elected first. Did you get that? And just before the earth ends, they must see that. God wants them to see. And God didn't only want them to see that, you know. He wanted to hear his voice, which they will not understand, thundering, putting a rainbow over you. And then they suddenly see a body that was feeble and weak, just get energy light and glowing. And they're shocked. They say, but we killed that person. Then what are they doing here? You don't seem to understand. This whole thing going on turn. That is why you're giving a chance now. You're sitting in these gray seats here now. But you're being given a chance, huh? You must recognize you have no option but to triumph. That's your future. Your future is success. Your future is triumphing. So don't take it, don't think that we talk as joke. God's truth is the character of Christ. And when you receive that, what you are receiving is the what? Character of Christ. And triumph will be yours. That's what's going to happen. And that's why today when you hear his voice, what does the Bible tell you? That's right, you know it. You see, this is not a ministry. This is the church of God that will produce the 144,000. And all you ministries need to know that. You all need to know that. This is not boasting, but it is declaring the facts as it is. That's what they need to know. If you don't have that faith, you better get that faith. That's my God.
Came to see that one little church in Rome, the whole world follow after. And Tuesday Assembly Adventist is the one little church in Rome, Alabama, that we will conquer the world with the doctrine of sin.
Amen, amen. Look at verse 10. Chapter 12, verse 10. Look at the word that we are doing. Many shall be purified and made white and tried. But the wicked shall do what? Wickedly. And none of the wicked shall what? Understand. But the wise, they shall what? And actually, if you were to really deal with the Hebrew, to comprehendingly deserve. That's how it will happen to us. And let's look at the very last verse. Look at the very last verse where it ends up. The second to last one. The second to last. But the last verse is for Daniel. The second to last. Blessed is he that waited and cometh to the 1,330 days. The 1,335 days literally ends in 1833. Sorry, 1842. 1843. And what God is saying here, blessed is you if you come to that day. Those who come to that date discover the sanctuary, discover the full gospel, receive a special commission, and are told, go back and what? Preach. That's why you, in this faith, are a special person, special blessing, special children of God, because you have come to the 1,335 days. Amen, brother? That's right. That's right. Praise God for that. Amen? Amen. So I look at people here, and I have you in my mind as a special person. You accept this faith, you're a special person. Special person to the kingdom of God. Very special. That's what you are. And that's the reason why when you become a Tuesday, Seventh-day Adventist, you're a special person. Amen? That's why you have a great work to do. You have to prophesy again to many nations, kindred, tongue, and people. What do you say? And you must never lose your high calling. Don't be proud. Be extremely humble, but never lose a sense of your high calling. You are the pen and ground of the truth. When they're talking nonsense, you're the one to correct. Amen. Amen. Somebody saying, oh, the dead sister is in heaven watching down at you. You just to say, the dead know not anything. You're the one to correct it. You're the one to do it. Amen? You are the one to do it. You are the pillar and ground of the truth. Now quickly, before we close off, let us find just where Daniel and the Revelation connects.
Yes, yes.
From one to the other. Lecture. So there are some things in the book of Daniel that are in the book of Revelation. Did you get that? Some things in the book of Daniel that is in the book of Revelation. Did you get that? Now I have a whole host of scripture here. Here's a study by itself. But let me just point it out to you. What is in Daniel and the Revelation? Number one, you will get the rise and reign of the Antichrist. You'll get it in what? Daniel and where else? Revelation. What else would you get? You'll get what? The persecution of what? God's people. Where? In Daniel and where? In Revelation. You will get the loss and recovery of the full gospel in Daniel and the Revelation. You will get the judgment in the second apartment of the what? Heavenly sanctuary in Daniel and Revelation. Is that not lovely? That's right. You will get what? The time of trouble, or the what? 7 final plagues in Daniel and the Revelation. Is that not wonderful? Yes, it is wonderful. One that you will have, let me give you one example. Judgment in the second apartment of the heavenly sanctuary. Daniel and Revelation. Some say, well, show us that. Show us that. Daniel 7:26, Daniel 8:14. Let's look at that. Daniel 7:26, Daniel 8:14. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume it and destroy it unto the end. Notice what it tells the judgment shall what? Sit. So you're getting a judgment. Where does the judgment take place? In the second apartment of the heavenly sanctuary, Daniel 8:14. And he said unto me, until 2,300 days, then shall the what? Sanctuary be cleansed. The cleansing of the sanctuary didn't take place in the first apartment. It took place where? So you have the judgment, cleansing of the sanctuary. Second apartment. Amen. That's what we just read in Daniel. Let's read it in Revelation. Revelation chapter 11. 18 and 19. Revelation chapter 11. 18 and 19. Look at, you see judgment, and look at it in the second apartment. We read. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is about to come. And the time of the dead, that they shall be judged. Look at the new judgment here. And that thou shalt give reward unto thy servants the prophets, unto the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them that what? Destroy the earth. Let's see where the judgment takes place. And how do you know? Verse 19. And the temple of God was what? Open in heaven, and they were seen in his temple the what? The ark of his testament. The ark is in what apartment? The second apartment. And what is in the ark? The testament or testimony, the law. Did you see that? Did you see that? So again, what is contained in Daniel is there in Revelation. Judgment, second apartment of the heavenly sanctuary. Judgment there. It's in both. So you see the connection. I just chose the one that a person will say, no, it can't happen. But there it is. So, now, final chapter. Exactly where does the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation connect? Exactly where? Those two places, setting up of what? God's kingdom and what? Persecution of God's church. That's exactly where they connect. So a person who is reading the book of Daniel and comes to the setting up of the kingdom of God is going to see that's where it continues from in the book of Revelation. And a person also is going to see the persecution of God's church in Daniel and the persecution of God's church in the book of Revelation. But there are two things here. There are two things there you need to look at. You need to find connection with regards to first chapters. You catch that one? You need to find connection with regards to first chapters. Which first chapter in Daniel to which first chapter in Revelation the connection comes? So you're looking at connections in what? First chapters. And then you're looking at connections in regards to time order. The order of time. So you want to look at connections with regards to first chapters, voila, and connections with regards to time order. That's what you want to look at. Okay? So if we look with regards to the first chapter, the first chapter will obviously be Daniel 2. Amen? And what is Daniel 2:44 saying?
Days of these kings.
In the what? Days of these kings shall the God of heaven what? Set up a kingdom. The setting up of God's kingdom. That's the first chapter. Not chapter 1, it only has to be chapter 2. Okay? In the days of these kings shall the God of heaven do what? Set up a kingdom. Right? Okay? That is the earliest chapter you can find in the book of Daniel. To find a connection in Revelation. Okay? Okay? And the earliest chapter in the book of Revelation is Revelation chapter 3. So the earliest chapter in the book of Daniel, chapter 2. Connection to the book of Revelation. The earliest chapter in the book of Revelation, chapter 3. Verse 5. Let's read. Verse 5. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in what? Right raiment, and I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before what? His angels. That's the judgment. So what do we have here? The name is not blotted out, the name is left in the book of life. And if the name is left in the book of life, you have inherited the kingdom. Did you get that there? So if you want to see the connection of the two chapters, but you want to find the connection of the two chapters with regards to the earliest chapter of each book, Daniel 2, Revelation 3. Get that one, right? So, next one. Now, by the way, I have more scriptures there. I'm just only giving you one or two. But there are more scriptures there. When you get this document yourself, you'll get everything. I'm just giving you one or two. Yeah. So, let's look at the connection in regards to time order. Daniel chapter 8. Sorry. Daniel chapter 7 and Daniel chapter 8 is the first place you get God's people being persecuted. Daniel chapter 7 and Daniel chapter 8. Right? So in time order. What is the event? Time order. The time when persecution starts upon God's saints, you will get that in Daniel chapter 7, Daniel chapter 8, and in Revelation chapter 1 and Revelation chapter 2. Time order. So Daniel 7, 8, Revelation what? 1, 2. Alright? Now you must have seen in Daniel chapter 7 how the saints will be given into his hands, right? Okay? And Daniel chapter 8, he carved down some of the stars and stamped upon them, you know, right? Daniel chapter 8. So you see persecution of God's people. But let's look at Revelation 1, where you probably did not compare it. And look at verse 8 and 9. 1, 8 and 9. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the ending, says Yahweh, which is and which was and is to come, the Almighty. I, John, who also am your brother and companion in tribulation. So the reason why I quote 8 is to show you, quote 8 ends here. So here's the first place in it, 9. I, John, who also am your brother and companion in brother and companion in and in the kingdom and patience of Jesus Christ was in the isle that is called Patmos for the word of God and for the testimony of Jesus Christ. So he was persecuted. He was put there on the what? Isle that is called what? Patmos for the word of God and the testimony of Jesus. And he's our brother in what? Tribulation. So the persecution of tribulation, the church is identified of in chapter 7 of Daniel and chapter 8, first presented in chapter 1. They just say, I'm your brother in the same team. I'm here because of the word of God. And look at chapter 2. 8 to 10. 8 to 10. Even more clearer and more brilliant. 8 to 10. And unto the angel of the church of Smyrna write, these things said the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. I know thy works and what else? Tribulation and what else? Poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. Fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. That's the persecution. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. But be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee what? The crown of life. So what do we see here? With regards to time order, so if we were to look at many events, death, resurrection, the gospel being lost, the gospel being rediscovered, which is the first thing in its time order that unites Revelation and Daniel? Persecution of the saints. Not the corruption of the gospel, not the rediscovery of the gospel, but what? The persecution of the saints. Did you get that? But if you want first chapter, connection, first chapter, then you'll have to take Daniel 2 with the kingdom and Revelation 3 with the judgment that brings it to the kingdom. So, in closing, the exact connections of Daniel and the Revelation exact connection to Daniel and the Revelation with regards to first chapters setting up of God's kingdom. With regards to order of events, persecution of God's people. Amen, brethren? That's how the books connect. But guess something, guess what? What did Daniel want to know? What will be the future of God's people? They will be set up as his kingdom. What are you troubled about God's people? Persecution. You see the connection of the two words? Isn't that brilliant? Isn't that beautiful? Brother Michael, as we do.
Pleasant Sabbath, grace and peace, right? As the brother was talking, I was thinking of what he said. The Holy Spirit put two scriptures in my mind, and I'd like to share them, right? In Timothy chapter 1, 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 18 and 19. Now, what is the purpose of all this? All these things that we have been receiving as pertaining to as the Holy Spirit wrote through the brother to bring this understanding unto us, right? 1 Timothy chapter 1 verse 18 and 19, it says, "This charge I commit unto thee, son Timothy, according to the prophecies which went before on thee, that thou by them mightest war a good warfare." So why is all of these commissioned unto us? Is that we could receive it and war a what? Good warfare. This is why we receive it, what he's teaching right now to us. This is why we are blessed with what is being brought to us. And the simple way to be brought to us so that we could war a what? Good warfare. Here verse 19 now. Holding faith. So you will war good warfare, holding faith. It is also brought unto us so that we can teach us to what? Abide in the truth. Keep the faith. Holding faith and a good what? Conscience. Which some having put away, considering faith, have made what? Shipwreck. So the purpose of all this that is given unto us is that we could fight a good warfare and that we could abide in the faith and keep our good conscience before God. So that we won't do as some who has put aside a good conscience concerning faith and they made shipwreck of their faith. 2 Timothy now, chapter 3, verse 14. Combine with that, right? 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 14. He said, "But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them." So now he tells us, now the second point is to continue it. Keep it, because we know we have been taught them by the Holy Spirit. We know the spirit of truth, which is the spirit of prophecy upon the mind of the brother, and upon our minds as we sit down here and we learn from these things. And he tells us to keep it, hold it, keep what you learn, so it can prepare you to fight a good warfare. This is the thought on my mind when I hear that.
Amen, amen, brethren. Now you know we could have studied on what is the connection between Daniel and Revelation and 2 Thessalonians. What is the connection between Daniel and Revelation and the book of Matthew? What is the connection of Daniel and Revelation and the book of Acts? There are connecting points established in all of them. You'll be shocked to know. But I can do not study by itself. But sufficient for you to learn now that it is important for you to understand the book of Daniel and Revelation. And we have given you a short crash course on the book of Daniel. But when I saw Brother Michael quote 1 Timothy, I got tempted to quote a text to attack some of those ministries that emphasize health above the gospel. I was tempted to quote a ministry. You see, they don't want a right arm of the teenagers message. They want a body that is the right arm. But the body and the arm can be the same, amen? And they can't forget the body and have only a right arm. How it's going to work? So we have a lot of those ministries. That's like Tuesday, Sunday, Adventist have everything organized properly, and we are not a mal-developed ministry. So when we go there, I suddenly get temptation. You say, quote the text, quote the text, quote the text. Okay, this is only one time I yield to temptation. Let's look at 1 Timothy. Chapter 4, 7 and 8. 1 Timothy chapter 4, 7 and 8. But refuse profane and old wise fables, and exercise thyself rather unto what? Godliness. So wait, hold on. God wants you to practice exercise, and the exercise is unto what? Godliness. So you know what the spiritual exercise is? It is unto what? Godliness. You know, learning the truth, disciplining yourself, you know, obedience and so on. But then Paul continues again. For bodily exercise profiting what? saying lift up your weights and do your jogging. Yes, it is good and you must do it. But walk in the fresh air, yes, it is good, but you must do it. Very good. But that profit little. So you must not put health reform above what? Above what? Conversion. Amen? What about the gospel? Put the gospel above it. So those who have 7 pillars, and I'm talking to them because I know on the net, you're going to see me. Listen boldly to what I'm saying here now. I'm saying it boldly. If you put up some pillars and you put the health message first and you put righteousness by faith last, you don't know any gospel. You don't know any gospel. You must remember, it's exercising godliness that you need. Then take the others. Exercise in godliness first, and then take all the other exercises. Amen, brethren? So do not expect, let me tell you something. And I tell them, I say this to those that are listening, do not expect this church to have any of that nonsense, imbalance, and ugly formed images that these ministries have. No. This church has the character of Christ and the nature of God as His image. And you can't get more perfect than that. Please let us start.
But seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Amen.
Amen. That's how it goes.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Close enough now, my dear brethren. So we ask for your help, your patience, your dedication. Know that time is coming to an end very soon. And we have a lot of training to take place here. Because everybody here will be trained to take the simplest natural cure and apply it to common sicknesses in children. And of course, when Brother Samson returns, you know he will give us some lectures in those things. What do you see? Alright, so please let us bow our heads for a prayer. And Brother Samson, would you just give us the closing prayer as you will do?
Let us pray. Eternal righteous Father, we truly thank Thee, O Lord. We thank Thee, O Lord, for all this wonderful truth that has been coming through the book of Daniel, and how it has been connected to the revelation, O Lord. We pray for the truth that You have revealed unto us, that we may take it and apply it to our lives, and we may take this truth to our fellow men into the world, O Lord, and usher in Thy second coming. We pray in a special way that You may provide for this household here, O Lord. Even with the project up in Sangre Grande, we pray for a special way that it has started, and we pray for the completion of such, O Lord. Send help and send Thy blessing, O Lord. Open up a fountain in the heavens and pour a blessing upon this church here, O Lord. That it will be successful and everything will be done to Thy name, honor and glory. In a special way, I pray, O Lord, for this household, the elders, in a special way, that You may keep them planted and rooted upon Thy firm foundation, O Lord. All the brethren that is present here, O Lord, and even those that is not here at this moment and is listening on to the various nations that wherever they are, O Lord, I pray that You may work upon their heart to sustain them, to strengthen them, and to keep them, O Lord, for we know that this is the end. And we have to accomplish this work, O Lord. Through Thy might, we will go forward in the name of the Lord, pulling down all stronghold and imagination with what You have been showing, O Lord. So help us, O Lord, by Your graces, to cleanse ourselves and to present ourselves, O Lord, as living vessels, to receive an unction from Thy sanctuary, O Lord, to receive the blessing from on high. So as we are about to depart here to go our several homes, O Lord, we ask for your traveling mercy, your guidance along the way, and you will keep us, and you will bring us back together. It's my prayer to Christ, O Lord, I pray, with much thanksgiving. Amen.
Amen.